Hi, welcome back to Physics Teacher. This is a question from the Chem13 exam contest, which is a grade 12 chemistry contest from Waterloo University, and it has to do with solving for the equilibrium constant of this reaction. Give it a try, and I'll be right back with the solution. So this question gives us two hypothetical reactions, each with their corresponding equilibrium constant K. And then we're asked for what that equilibrium constant would be for this third reaction. So let's review what the equation is for an equilibrium constant, because we're going to need to know that. Let's say we have the following reaction, where the small a is the coefficient and capital A is some compound. So in this case, our equilibrium constant K would be equal to a fraction, where on the numerator we have the products, where it's going to be the amount of C raised to the exponent of that coefficient C times the amount of D raised to its exponent. And then the same thing on the denominator, but for the reactants. Okay, and now let's use this equation for the first reaction here. So K, or K1, we know is 36. And that's going to be equal to C to the power of 2, so C squared, all divided by, here we have A2 to the power of 1, so I'll just leave that out, multiplied by B, right there, to the power of its coefficient, which is 2. Let's do the same thing for equation 2. So its equilibrium constant is 20, which will equal C to the power of 1 all over D to the power of 1 and E to the power of 2, like so. And finally, we'll do the same thing for our third equation, but we don't know what its constant is, so we're just going to write it as K3. And that's going to equal D times E squared, so DE squared, all divided by B times A2 to the power of 1/2. Or I'll write it as A2 to the 1/2 times B. Alright, so this DE squared looks similar. We have that right here. So let's rearrange this equation to DE squared will equal C over 20. And I can substitute that in here. Well, what about this? A2 to the half times B. Pretty close, but let's rearrange this. So A2 times B squared will equal C squared over 36. And now if we take the square root of both sides, on the left side we will get our square root of A2, which in exponent form is A2 to the 1/2, and then the squared cancels out and we're just left with B. And that equals C over the square root of 36, which is 6. Okay, well, let's substitute both of these in here for K3. So first, DE squared is C over 20. And then A2 to the half times B is C over 6. Our C's cancel, and this reduces to 6 over 20, which is the same as 3 over 10, or 0.3. So our answer is D.